Yo, we're gonna do a little heat check. We want a special guest, June.
Yo, what up?
You wearing the Nike Sakai's? Check it out, the pine green. We over here. We got my man Zeko wearing the Adidas Oswego.
These things comfortable.
Orange.
Okay.
What you got?
Jordan 1, from 1994.
Damn,
Yeah,
boy,
those
got the
are fire.
Still
throwbacks, boy.
Yeah.
Hey,
One-
real quick, throw a price check on those two. What them things go for?
I don't know. My boy will know more.
400 to 600.
That's crazy.
These could go for 1,000 to
1,000. That's
Yeah,
right
yeah.
money. All right, these go for like
Worn.
120. These go for like 120.
Yo, because those are like the OGs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
Welcome back, everybody, to Breaking Business,
Yo.
episode 3.
Let's get it. We're here with the host,
Dre.
Zeku, and we got our special guest, June the
June.
Barber.
Yo,
What's
yo,
up,
yo,
man?
yo,
Good
what
to
up,
see
what up,
you,
what
dog.
up?
Welcome to the
What's up, Dre? How you
MIA.
doing? You good? Yeah, good.
What's up, man? So how you been?
I've been good. Chilling.
All right, man. So, for those who don't know you and don't know us, and for the first time are tuning in, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do? Why are you wearing a Monster hat? Just kind of give us a little background story.
June, I've been cutting hair. I'm Houston, Texas is where I'm from.
Yeah,
I've been cutting hair for 12 years now.
that's a long time.
Yeah, but like different areas in my side of town, from the southwest to the southeast side to the north side. Just trying to find my area. I'm now at a barbershop called Southern Comfort. Been there for 10 years now.
Dang.
Doing that. Also on the side of that, was able to gain a sponsorship by Monster 3 years ago.
Dope.
And with that, other opportunities came in the way with that, and I've been doing that. I also run a little small event that I have. It's called Clipper Beast, where I basically bring people, different barbers in from my city and have them battle and do different the networking and stuff that barbers could do within the community. And
That's
I do that
awesome,
every
man.
last Friday and
That's
stuff
awesome.
like that.
What got you into the barber? Like cutting hair? Like how did you get into it?
I got into cutting hair with my brother's best friend. He would be cutting hair on his porch, and every time I got out of school, it would just be a place that I passed by with my brother, and I seen him, and it was just something that I gravitated towards. Seeing him doing it, different people coming to the house, getting haircuts on the porch, haircuts in the garage, the restrooms. It was just something that I liked, you know what I mean? Jamming the music.
It was raw.
It was just raw, and it was just like real.
Yeah.
Jamming music loud in the restroom, getting haircuts, waiting, chilling, stuff like that. So I took it from him. He was like the first guy that I ever saw.
It's crazy because I've actually, people don't know this, but I've cut hair like that before.
Yeah,
Like,
it's crazy.
People around the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
even know that.
I used to cut
Yeah.
hair. I could give good haircuts and
Yeah.
tapes.
Heck
We
yeah.
ain't gonna put it to test.
Nope.
So, you mentioned a lot of things. You're sponsored by
Mhm.
Monster. Is there any other barber that's sponsored by an energy drink?
At the
Does
moment,
that exist?
At the moment, I don't think there is.
Nice. So how did that happen? How did that come about?
Man, so the thing about Monster, how did I get? So everybody knows Moy, B-Boy Moy, Monster too.
Yeah.
I used to travel with him, take myself out with him at all the events he used to do while he was signed with Monster. Just taking myself out and being in places I had no reason being in, if that makes any sense.
So
know
you
what I
were
mean?
funding this on your own?
Yeah, just funded it off my own. I mean, sometimes I couldn't fund it. People in the neighborhood, got together, sent me out.
Dang.
I had homies, my brother. Sometimes I wasn't able to afford it, but I would still make it happen. There was even a time I think Moy helped me out. And I was just coming out to these places with him and just networking, getting with people. I mean, I knew a few people that were in the city and different cities that we went to. I would book just appointments on the side, you know what I mean? And I would just ride with him to the events. So I was just going to different places and just doing me.
That's real.
Yeah.
That's real. Now, working with Monster, how do you feel like you've been able to leverage the company's what have they made easier for you in your career? How have you been able to leverage them in your career?
Oh, man, as soon as it happened, I was able to I was getting reached out big time, you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, this
Just
is
because you signed with them.
just because of the M Claw, basically, just because I got signed by them. People that weren't talking to me before started reaching out. You know what I mean? I was like running into people in my DMs that I have seen like maybe years before and like wouldn't talk or wouldn't say nothing to me. You know what I mean? Now trying to figure out like how this happened and how they could be a part of it. But at the same time, it was new to me. I was just it's still new to me. We're still learning a lot of new things right now, but I wasn't like worried about like what they had going on, so I was just trying to keep myself afloat. But man, it's helped me a lot. Different opportunities, being able to go and judge different barber battles now. Now, like the event that I was telling you about, the Clipper Beast one with that,
Yeah,
just pushing
elaborate
that
a
too.
little bit on that.
So
How's that going?
So the Clipper Beats is good. It's just I created this little event, right? And basically what I do is I pick 4 different barbers at the end of every month, and I bring them underneath one roof, and we give them one haircut, one category, and a certain time to do this haircut. And the reason why I pick 4 is because I take it to different neighborhoods. So we might be in the north side one day, we might be in the south side one day. So I take it to different sides of the community and pick different barbers. I mean, I've done it to where I've picked people who were already beefing with each other. I had this event and I had people squash beef.
Wait, over haircuts? People beef over haircuts?
Yeah, or just in general.
dope.
You know, we're from different sides of the town. So, you know, it's just like in breakdancing or anything else. You know, I'm from the southeast side. I might not get along with the guy from the north side. So I was bringing people together like that, different barbers from each side of the town, and they were battling it out, doing their own thing. So it's dope, networking, free monsters all night. We have food, we have drinks, and it isn't that long. It's like from like 8 p.m. to like 10:30. So it's dope, though. We get a lot of people coming out for that, too.
Does this all happen in Texas?
Yeah, this is all happening in Houston, Texas.
Do you see yourself going abroad with it, like at different states, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. We and Zeku got something coming together, too, for 2020. So that's going to be pretty dope, too. But, yeah, definitely doing that and bringing it to other cities, and maybe even doing it something like they do like in breakdancing, where we pick a certain winner each state and bring them out to the finals and stuff like that.
Well, that sounds dope.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
I like the name, by the way.
Clipper Beast, yeah. Clipper Beast, yeah.
Now, question, going back to when you said, like, once you signed, you had people reaching out to you that never reached out to you, or you never even thought would reach out to you. This is a business-oriented podcast, so to me, that is a part of the business that a lot of people kind of neglect, and they don't really put a lot of light on it. Once you start coming up in your industry, there's certain people that reach out to you, and sometimes our ego or our pride is kind of like, oh, why should I talk to that person? Nah, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym, you know, like.
For sure.
But sometimes it's a great business opportunity.
For sure.
You know? So what's your advice to, let's say, an aspiring barber? And I know one of my closest friends is a barber, and you're a barber as well. And you guys tell us, like, sometimes you have to network with these people, like you're saying.
For sure.
So what is your advice to an aspiring barber who is coming up and wants to be in a position like where you're at right now?
So my big thing was, when I was coming up, I would see all the barbers being the barber for like 7 a.m. to like fucking 11 p.m., which is cool. Don't get me wrong. This is money being made. You know what I mean? I was always one on the move. Being in different places, like I said, that I need to be. I mean, don't get it wrong. I worked in a barbershop for a very long time. So I think, and I always wanted to be on the move. So there was a certain point of time where I might have been going out to cut this rapper. I might have been coming out to cut this guy, or maybe not even just artists or celebrities in general, just people with a big name in my city that either own like clothes or own businesses and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I was starting to be like, yo, all right, cool. So if I could get one of those guys in that, let's just say a company, I might be able to get 2 or 3 or 4, turn around and put them on a small little contract that I'm coming every Wednesday for, of course, a mega price. But now I'm going for, so now I look at it like this. All right, so I'm coming to this guy or this place, and I'm cutting 5 people for maybe 2 or 3 or 4, depending who I was messing with, more than what I was making at the shop. You know what I mean? So it became, it was, for some people don't like it, but for me it was like, it was easy money because I was staying in the 5-mile radius. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like I was
Convenience.
Yeah, it was convenience. So I always tell the upcoming barbers right now, I'm always like, yo, being in the shop is cool, but don't get stuck behind the chair. You know what I mean? Because, like, if I wouldn't have left the barbershop to go to different events with Moy, I wouldn't maybe not had the monster deal. You know what I mean?
Ooh,
so not not just staying in the shop, but going out and making opportunities or create opportunities. There's a lot of money to be made in this barber thing. It don't even have to be in a barbershop. Bro, there's people like at the cemetery that, you know what I mean? I remember cutting hair at the cemetery. It was $85 a haircut. You know, I mean, the people, they're deceased and stuff, but there's opportunities out there that you can make a couple extra $1,000 or something on the side, but barbers aren't open to that. They just see the barbershop. You know what I mean? So if I had any advice for upcoming barber, I think my thing would be like, don't get stuck behind the chair, but move around, get out your comfort zone, and maybe try to create something that there wasn't, because that's what I did.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that would be my thing.
I see you talked about celebrities and artists Would you mind sharing like some of the people you've cut hair for?
So I got Michael Brockers from the LA Rams, my really good friend of mine. We went to high school together. Really, really cool guy. Trey Songz, I cut Kendrick Lamar before. I've just these people that I was able to cut through just tour managers that I kept cool with. So whenever they ever hit the city to see if I was available, those are the only reasons why I do it. I don't cut them on a daily basis, but I have been able to
It's
do
on your
those
resume.
things. Yeah, for sure. And there's a lot of other people, Houston people, Trader Truth, Powwow, people like that I have in the past before.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Now, aside from being a barber and a successful barber, you also have your side businesses. You say Clipper Beast, but you also have a clothing brand, which we're wearing right now.
Yeah.
Sucio HTX, right? Speak a little bit about it. What was the inspiration behind it? What is the logo? Me personally, I love the brand. I love the little shirt with the period running with the money bag. We're all
Why the
about the
name?
hustle life.
Why the name too?
Yeah.
All right, so like the way I came about with Sucio, at one point I was doing haircuts and I had a hashtag called Sucio Cuts. So we all know what Sucio is in Spanish, nasty, right? So in our generation we use dope, nasty, ill. So everybody had a little Sucio on. So like when it comes to breakdancing, you have a little Sucio in you. Why? Because you're dope, ill, nasty. That's just in our generation now. Those are the words. So it's kind of like using a word that was used for negativity, but switching it up and using it in, like what we use in our generation. So I had the hashtag for that, meaning nasty, dope cuts.
Yeah.
And then I remember just being one day, I was like, yo, I'm gonna make a Sucio shirt, blah, blah, blah. I was telling my homie from Houston, Donkey Boy, like, yo, man, I want to like make a Sucio shirt. He was like, yo, let's put a pig at the end. And then I was like, all right, cool, let's put some X's on it. Fuck it, come on. And I just dropped it and I left it like that, bro. And then like the very first one that I made was black and white. I sold like over 500 of them shits.
Really?
Yeah, like I dropped it like 3 times. You know what I mean? So it was just like plain and simple, but like I'm not fully 100% on it. I try to stay as much as on it, but like whenever I do drop, it's a consistent boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm talking about? And like all my clients at the barbershop, they always ask me for different people around the city. So
Dope.
That's
that's why I
awesome.
do it. I kind of do it just for them and just to keep it alive type thing. You know what I mean?
But at the end of the day, it's still extra revenue coming
Oh,
in.
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Still
Oh,
a
yeah,
little
you better
business.
believe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm going to do something, I'm a profit.
Yeah,
That's just
yeah,
how it
yeah,
goes.
yeah.
Straight and simple. Yeah, don't get it wrong. Yeah, for sure. So, but just with that, like I just put it into other things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you explain why, you know, like I see a lot of entrepreneurs when they first start, you know, they start off in what they do, you know, like let's say you start off as a barber, but then as you exceeded in your barber career, and it happens with a lot of entrepreneurs, they start with one thing and then within that one thing they get these ideas. Sucio Cuts ended up turning into Sucio brand.
Yeah.
So why do you think it is that once we feel like we're succeeding in one opportunity, we go to the next and then we branch out to another one? Is it because you feel like you just have more in you, or is there a reasoning behind that?
I'm just a hustler, so
There you
I'm
go.
gonna be
I think
real.
that was what I was waiting for.
I'm a hustler, and at the end of the day, shit, if the shit makes sense, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? And like I said, like just for things like this, and a lot of people don't know, we have dog kennels back in Houston, me and my cousin Tank. So we have bullies that we do, you know what I mean? So even with that too, you know what I'm talking about, I do a lot of stuff on the side with the dog game too. So it's all a hustle. For me, I think it's just a hustle. So when I see one thing, I'm like, all right, cool. Well, shit, I could profit off of this. So shit, if I could do this and I could do this and I could do this, you know what I mean? Whether to me, you know what I mean? I'm not going to do a small profit, but everything helps.
Yeah.
So I look at it like that, just as like a hustler mentality. I could do this, boom, 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 boom. Some shit works, some shit doesn't at the end of the day, you know what I mean? But you can see the shit that works. It's a consistent thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's,
don't limit yourself.
yeah, for sure. So like, man, there's all type of things, and like, you know, in the past I used to be like, I want to do this, but I'm not tripping, whatever, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But lately I've been like on that shit, like, all right, I'm gonna do it, fuck it, I'm gonna do it, let's go, do it, boom, 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 boom. If it shit, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know what I mean?
Taking
so,
the risk.
Yeah, for sure. So lately I've been on that kind of game too. You know what I mean? Definitely investing back in myself. That's the number one thing I could tell anybody that, you know, either makes a little profit off of something or whatever it may be. Because like with stuff like this, I'm not just buying stuff that I like. I either put it back into that or I put it into something that might be helpful for me, whether it be tomorrow or next week or the month to come. You know what I mean? So that's just what I do. I just keep it moving.
Now, we're hearing all the success. You know, it sounds like you're doing pretty well for yourself. I want to touch a little bit on like your come up, like the struggles growing up. What was it like? Where you grew up, how you grew up, your family situation. Because I feel behind every true hustler, there's something in there
that
sure. motivates them. So I just want to touch on that.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think everybody has a story. Growing up, I grew up on the southeast side of Houston, Magnolia, Texas. My grandpa had a house, and there was like 5 families living in one house. He had a small duplex in the back. That's where my family and I lived. I have an older brother and an older sister. Catching the bus, you know, doing regular stuff like that. Went to a elementary school, as a matter of fact, over there. You know, just to coming up, just to fighting each other. You know, the normal stuff everybody does. We stayed there. I mean, it wasn't the worst of the worst, but it wasn't the best of the best, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I wasn't walking around hungry. You know, my parents took care of me. But other than that, everything was good. We had a big-ass family. You know what I mean? Not just with my family, but for everybody. So, you know, parents would be out of town. I mean, at work, and we're all in one house. We get bored sometimes, you know what I mean? So we get to going outside doing shit we're not supposed to do, but that's just how the shit was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
And we knew doing the shit that it had consequences, but, you know, like every other man, it's like, fuck it, we're going to keep pushing them buttons, keep pushing the buttons. So, yeah, and my dad used to discipline me, for sure, you know what I mean? But I would ask for it, you know what I mean? So I would take the consequences, but still try to learn from them if I could. But I was a kid growing up, you know what I mean? So then, you know, I ended up moving from that side of town when I was like 13 years old, and we moved kind of like towards the more south side of Houston. And my parents built a house there, and so we were back and forth because my dad decided to build a house on his own with his people, so it took longer than a regular house to get built. So I just remember every weekend going to this side, coming back to this side. I grew up playing baseball with my dad. My brother played baseball too. So ended up that's basically how it went. I mean, then I turned into a teenager, started doing things like that I wasn't supposed to do. My brother went out to school. My sister left to school, so I was just one deep by myself. And so that's when I started hanging around with the guy that I told you about, my brother's best friend. So that's how I really got into like more cutting hair, because at the time my brother had went to law school, my brother had went to medical school, and my sister went to law school, and I stayed behind. You know, I had just graduated, so I was like, fuck, what am I gonna do? Started doing this, started doing that, bullshit around here and there, cutting hair in my garage. And then the barbershop that I work at now, the guy started to hear about me. He took me out of my garage and put me in his shop, and that's how that shit went from there.
Yeah,
Before
that's
you ask
dope
the
and
next
sweet.
question, I'm getting kind of thirsty. Pink or green? What you want?
I just cut a white. I'll take a pink though for sure.
Bet.
I'll take that for sure.
That's on you. I'm gonna take me a little green. All right, go ahead.
Well, I don't have any other question. What you mean?
Oh, okay. Well, I do.
Oh yeah, the one.
So, I was telling him, I think it's super inspiring. Like, usually you hear about people like, oh, I'm gonna rack up this amount of bread and I'm gonna get myself a house, or I'm gonna get myself a little apartment. You actually built your crib, your house from the ground up.
Yeah.
Like, what was the motive behind that? That's crazy to me.
Yeah,
That's
he told
dope.
me that story. I was like, what? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We all know that barbers, they cake up. You know, they make bread, it's a decent amount of money, but you built your house, bro. That's crazy to me. Like, what's the reason behind that?
So I remember when, like I said, my brother was out in school, and he told me, I was living in my mom's house, and I remember he told me, yo, whenever I get back from medical school, yo, I'm gonna get a crib. You can move out. You could chill with me. It'll be like like a bachelor pad type thing. You know what I mean? And then we did that. We had a house. It was dope. You know, talking about I had my own space now. Yo, I in my mom's house. It was like I had like a mattress on the floor in my mom's house and just shoes everywhere, bro. You know what I mean? And like that's like for real. Like to my mom, if you can ask my mom right now, you tell her, why do you think he moved out? It's just she'll tell you because a bunch of shoes and he had a mattress on the floor. That's just how I was. That's just how I was. So moved in with my brother. We had the house. We stayed there for like 9 years, right? So people grow, people do different things, you know what I'm talking about? So we ended up selling the house and splitting our ways. So I said, fuck. All right, cool. I'm gonna go back. I said, I got two things I could do. I said, I could go buy a house or go get an apartment, or I'm gonna go to my mom's house real quick. Let me go to my mom's house. And I felt weak as fuck, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I was like, yo, just give me like a couple of months, because I wanted to figure out what I wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
And I remember driving around, and I always wanted to build a house, but I was just like, damn, that shit gotta be up there, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Was there any business motive behind it? Like, did you see value in it? Or
Oh yeah,
anything
definitely.
Like that?
Yeah. The area that I'm at, yeah, it's gonna continue going up.
I want you to touch a little bit on that, as into why was there a business business approach to it? And
yeah, somewhat.
building it instead of just buying one that was already
Yeah,
done?
somewhat. Yeah, for sure. I just for the fact like that, I wanted just to have my own brand new house, bro. You know what I mean? I just wanted to know that I was the first one to live in there. Just those type of things, you know what I mean? Being able to like brand new home, and then eventually, yeah, later on in the future when years pass by, you know, make something off of it for sure.
Becomes valuable.
Yeah, for sure, definitely. In the area that I moved in, I actually live in the area that Moy moved in too, and those areas are like that. You know, as the years go by, you know, the more you could get. So definitely, yeah, for sure. That's some of the reasons why I did it.
Did it come from? You mentioned earlier that your father built houses too.
Mhm.
Did Do you
So-
think it stemmed out from that as well? Like,
My dad didn't build houses, but at the time when he got this property, the funds weren't there for him to get people to do the type of shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was him and I think one of his brother and then my grandpa and another uncle. You know what I mean? So it took a very long time to build because they did it like on as stages. You know what I mean? As they come.
Yeah.
Whereas till nowadays it's like boom, 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 boom. In 6 months the shit's up. You know what I mean?
But you see the difference, like.
Yeah, for sure.
They
You know what I
built
mean?
it out
Yeah.
of their heart. Like, and
Yeah.
now, like, you
now it's like all crazy. You go in there, you want this, you want that, you want this, and you want that. You know, it was definitely a crazy process, though. You know what I mean? And like I want to do it again, but I'm scared to do it again. You know what I mean? But I'm definitely in the future would love to build again. You know what I mean? I'm blessed to be able to even build a house for something like that. But I don't take nothing for granted either. So that was just something like a big. Like, damn, I was able to do it, you know what I mean? So, yeah, definitely. And then, as you said, like as a business side, yeah, I have plans of settling in maybe in the future, 3 to 4 years from now, maybe 5 the latest, because it's not the dream house that I wanted, but it was something that I wanted, if that makes sense. So in the future, I do want to add different things to it, but as of now, I'm thankful for having what I have, and it's dope. I like it, you know what I mean? Dope.
That's awesome, man. Now, again, it's a business podcast. It's probably a barber who's watching this. Do you advise them to put their money in certain things like that? You know, because now a lot of people are stuck in this facade of I need to wear all these chains, or I need to wear these certain shoes, or I got to drive this certain car. Do you support that, or do you preach like, hey man, like be humble for a little bit, wear the same shoes, wear the same pants, the same shirts, and put your bread, you know, where it's gonna grow, where you're gonna have, you know, lucrative income, you know, or like what's your take on that? Because I see you like you did you know, you put your bread to the side, you went back to live with your mom, and then now you can rock the jewelry, you can rock the shoes, but you got a crib, you got you know, you're stable.
So I think all that comes to at the end of the day so for the person that's hearing this, when I came into cutting hair, it was more of those things like I was making money, you know, you're making cash money, right? So you know what I mean, whatever the amount you make is cool. But it's like what you do with it, you know what I mean? So I was fortunate to have people around me that were able to tell me about my taxes, how to pay your taxes, you know what I mean? Because now I know people who cut hair that are kind of old and don't claim taxes.
Talk on that, man.
Don't
that's
do certain things. So my thing was like, yo, I got to get this credit right. I got to get this right. I got to get this right. But there's people who don't have those people around them to tell them that.
That's
so
important.
they get to the 25 and the 28 and the 29 and the 30 and they trying to buy a house, but they got to go get a small apartment. Or they're trying to buy that car, but they can't get that. Or their credit's fucked up. Or they're doing certain things like that. Everybody could go buy a pair of shoes. Everybody could go buy a chain. Everybody could do all that. It's understandable. It's a cash game. But how many people could walk into the car dealership and get what they want? Boom, 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 gone.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't do that.
Yeah.
A lot of people are going to have to sit there and figure some shit out, or are going to have to be like, yo, let me come back next year when my credit's better, or let me get a cosigner, let me get something like that, right? So, yeah, the shoes and the stuff, it all comes stuff. I've always been a flashy person. I like doing those things. I work for it hard. But if for somebody like that, that's the main thing, bro. Like, to get with somebody who does those type of things, learn how to do your taxes. You know what I mean? Go pay that money. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, whenever it's the right time, you want to try to go get something that you want to get, you can get it. And we talking about houses and cars and stuff like that. Because once again, like we say, anybody could go buy the shoes, anybody could buy the jewelry. That's just all side stuff that people could get. But whenever it comes to the big stuff, you know what I mean? Being able to go buy the big shit or stuff like that, you want to be able to be good. You want to be able to be like, oh, but I got so much money in the bank, blah, blah, blah. To them, they don't care. That's cool. The screen's blank, brother. Can't help you. That's cool. You got $50K in the bank. Yeah. It's understandable, but we can't just give you this or give you that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So credit shows the responsibility.
Oh, definitely.
You know,
yeah.
that
So
you can actually make payments.
everybody, like all the youngsters that I know that are coming off of Barber College right now, I tell them like, yo, that taxes and all the other stuff. Just get that on point.
That's good. You mentioned that you had mentors and teachers to teach you that. That's been very important.
Yeah, for sure. Cause that one hit it hard. That one was, and I'm lucky I was able to even learn that because I see people right here nowadays, and it's like, damn, it's gonna be on. So that's what I tell everybody about the taxes stuff and just other things too. You know what I mean? Everything. Have all your priorities right, you know, do the right thing, do certain things, you know what I mean? Everybody has their days, everybody slacks off, everybody fucks off, it's understandable, but I think just being consistent with it and doing everything you can do will be perfect, handle it, be good to go.
I think that was awesome, man. So, credit, make sure you pay your taxes.
Yeah.
And just get that money.
It does.
The
It's
three
not-
biggest advice from June.
I got
Tax,
some other stuff.
Credit, get that bread.
No, I got some other stuff too. No, that's definitely true though.
Yeah.
But also, my big things were always to do that, of course, do that, but keep God first and obey your parents. That's
Yeah,
big,
man.
real
That's
big.
big. That's a fact. All right, man. Well, that was it. Episode 3 with June the Barber, DRE TEK, the host with the most, and Zeku. We're going to drop a link if you guys want to purchase these t-shirts. Sucio HTX. We'll make sure we get you guys right. We'll have his Instagram. Vega the man. He'll make it pop up everywhere and all that stuff. You know what he's doing. Till next time, we'll
This
see
is
y'all. Peace. Thank you,
Yo,
bro.
yo, yo,
Thanks
for
for
sure.
coming through,
Yeah,
man.
thank
Y'all already
you.
know.
Dre, for sure.
Yeah.
Andamos